Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, the 26th Annual International Women in Aviation Conference is a success despite the snow. Boeing 787-9 gets a southern finishing touch, and American Airlines to phase out MD-80s. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm Ashley Hale. The 26th Annual International Women in Aviation Conference that took place last week was a rousing success that will have a continuing effect on the thousands of attendees. The fact that the usually sunny Dallas, Texas location was covered with a blanket of snow when attendees arrived did not put a chill on the conference. Anyone who's ever attended organizations or business-related conferences should attend this one to see how it's done right, regardless of the business activity or gender. The WAI organization is composed of more than 11,000 members, and the conference was intended as a forum for promoting women's place in all facets of aviation. The conference provided information, encouragement, and practical training for women to seize aviation careers. As women looked at the existing opportunities aviation provides, they also look to the future with Girls in Aviation Day on Saturday. Girls ages 10 through 17 were introduced to the possibility of aviation as a career or avocation. The girls were able to meet with successful women in various facets of aviation and find mentors that would be hard to find anywhere else. To the WAI, we at ANN say job well done. The Boeing South Carolina facility has now been approved by the FAA to produce the 787-9 Dreamliner. This was achieved through the addition of this facility to the company's production certificate. The certificate is issued once an airplane manufacturer has demonstrated to the FAA that its facilities and quality management system meet the agency's safety and reliability requirements. Beverly Wise, Boeing South Carolina Vice President and General Manager, said in part, quote, "This is yet another significant milestone in the short history of this impressive site and a tribute to our teammates' hard work, flexibility, and dedication," end quote. Boeing South Carolina in North Charleston has been producing major components for the aircraft, but will now be able to roll out the -9 series of the 787 as a final assembly. After the break, American Airlines MD-80s gone in 2 years.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird X-Wind SE and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulation.com.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro standby instrument, TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, send an email to news-spy@aero-news.net. The McDonnell Douglas MD-80, once the staple of the American Airlines Fleet, will see its last service with the carrier in 2017. This according to information on financing filed by the airline. The MD-80 has largely been replaced by the Boeing 737-800, which the filing calls the backbone of the American fleet, accounting for more than 40% of Americans' domestic flying capacity as measured in available seat miles flown. The MD-80 is a derivative of the Douglas DC-9, which was first introduced in 1965. The DC-9 MD and Boeing 717 series of aircraft were all based on the original Douglas design, and were in production for 41 years. Each week, we share with you a sample of an online video one of our viewers found especially entertaining. We call it our Aero Video of the Week.
Final liftoff of Atlanta.
When a new Hartzell aerobatic propeller was installed on a Great Lakes biplane, it needed to be test flown. In this video, you'll see it's a dirty job, but someone has to do it. Search spin test flights in the Waco Great Lakes on YouTube. After these messages, a bad winter gives us a good ice runway.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, Navcom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment called Around the Patch. Alton Bay, New Hampshire now offers the only ice runway in the lower 48 states. Alton Bay's Lake Winnipesaukee has frozen over, and the FAA has approved its use by aircraft. The 3,000-foot runway is ready and waiting. The aircraft accident was memorialized in Don McLean's American Pie as The Day the Music Died. In 1959, Buddy Holly and Richie Valens were fatally injured, and now the NTSB has requested it reopen their investigation. FreeFlight Systems is adding a Level B capable radar altimeter to their product line to meet the design safety requirements for Part 29 rotorcraft. The FRA 5500 will enable Part 29 operations to meet February 21, 2014 radar altimeter installation requirements. Final assembly of the second S-97 Raider helicopter is underway at Sikorsky's Development Flight Center. Sikorsky is developing 2 Raider prototypes to demonstrate the revolutionary new capabilities in improved maneuverability and flight speed on this unique design. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's move on to the rest of the news. NASA's Dawn spacecraft headed for deep space in September 2007 and has already explored the giant asteroid Vesta for 14 months in 2011 and 2012. Now the spacecraft has returned new images captured on approach to its historic orbit insertion at the Dwarf Planet Ceres. Dawn became the first mission to successfully visit a dwarf planet when it entered orbit around Ceres on Friday, March 6th. Recent images show numerous craters and unusual bright spots that scientists believe tell how Ceres, the first object discovered in our solar system's asteroid belt, formed, and whether its surface is changing. As the spacecraft spirals into closer orbit around the dwarf planet, researchers will be looking for signs that these strange features are changing, which would suggest current geological activity. Scientists say data returned from Dawn could contribute significant breakthroughs in our understanding of how the solar system formed. Well, that's our program for Monday, March 9th. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us in a growing roster of outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.